Did you see the new Harvard study that just came out on the carnivore diet? New Harvard study came out on the carnivore diet that's dead. 6 months on the carnivore diet eradicated almost 90% of all diseases and illnesses. I started my journey about 6 years ago. I did my first run of it for about 6 months straight, and I didn't cheat once. By the end of the third month, I had to go see my primary because I was dizzy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm killing myself eating all this fat and meat and pack of bacon a day and pork. So I went, I'm like, hey man, am I dying? He goes, your blood pressure's so low. Yeah. You need more sodium and stop taking your blood pressure meds.
Isn't that crazy?
And I went home, I threw the blood pressure meds in the garbage, and I was off of the antidepressants.
Yeah.
I got rid of all the brain fog and all that stuff, and I've never looked back.
Podcast twins back in the twin cave. Tell them what to do before I introduce my very special guest, Vince.
Well, you guys already know we got one major request. Just reach down there, click that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing, but you're really helping us out a whole lot by doing that, because we're trying to beat this damn algorithm so we can get this message out to each and everybody in our reach. So you got the YouTube, and we finally are on TikTok. So you can go ahead and start seeing us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the platforms, and of course Spotify. We're on there. Only one mountain to climb there, man. We're going to get on Apples one day. So one day they're going to let us in the house. But other than that, we're on every major platform. If you could subscribe to each one of them, that would help us out a lot. That's all I'm asking. Is that a lot? It's not a lot. So please, subscribe for us.
So I talked about Dr. Harley Bofshever many times on this podcast because this is the guy that we met through our friend Ariel Levitt a long time ago, and we went to a sushi restaurant, and Harley didn't eat one piece of sushi because there was rice attached to it. He ordered a plate of beef and chicken.
Yep.
And then, come to find out, we both like shooting guns a little bit.
A lot.
And I told him, hey, I'm part of the Glock Shooting Sports Foundation. Let's go down and go in this shooting competition together. So he comes to my house, we get in the car together, and I'm like, I got an opportunity to ask this former bodybuilder who is 10 years older than me, that looks like he's in better shape than most people that are 10 years younger than me, about his nutrition and his diet. Also, he was my chiropractor at the time, and he had helped me get out of some pain being my chiropractor, so of course I trust the guy. And I had an hour down to Miami to pick his brain and ask him every question I could about carnivore and learn as much as I could. And then an hour on the way home, I think I spent about half of that time asking you more questions.
Yes, you did. It was good.
And I believe it was about the next week or 2 weeks later after I got back from the PGA show. So this is now end of January of 2024.
Okay.
Not quite 2 years ago.
Right.
And that was when I started my carnivore lifestyle.
The journey.
And as our audience already knows, and Harley knows and noticed when we went to a dinner a couple weeks ago, I've dropped 40 pounds. I feel like I'm aging backwards. I learned about my blood type and that I should be eating meat as much as I possibly can. Vince has further educated me on cholesterol and the whole moving the goalposts in
cholesterol scam in America.
1981 and all that.
Oh, good.
But I credit you and my friend Ilan with getting me on this carnivore journey, and then carnivore keto, and then back to carnivore. Right. And I freaking love it, Harley. So thank you for coming down, man.
You look great.
Thank you, sir. And you always, you're working out, you're eating right, you're in your early 50s, late 50s, you're rocking it. So, tell us how you got started on carnivore.
My whole life I worked out, and ever since I was a little kid, but I was always doing that traditional bodybuilding diet, low fat, and moderate carbs. You remember, that thing.
I know it.
Vegetables later in the day, your starchies early in the morning, and that kind of thing. It was about 6 years ago, and I had a bunch of injuries, so I hired a personal trainer, my buddy Jake.
Okay.
And just trying to get back into it. So I was getting over some shoulder surgeries. Just wanted a little spotter, you know what I mean? And while we were in there, he started talking about the keto carnivore lifestyle and turning me onto it a little bit, and I started to learn a little bit more and more about it. Read Dr. Sean Baker's book, The Carnivore Diet, which was the basic Bible for the carnivore lifestyle.
Yes.
And I started my journey about 6 years ago. I did my first run of it for about 6 months straight, and I didn't cheat once.
Oh, awesome.
Not one deviation from it. And the interesting thing was, by the end of it, I was up to 6,000 milligrams of sodium a day. And I was, prior to starting it, I was on, I'll say it, I was on 2 different antidepressants and 2 different blood pressure medications.
Okay.
By the end of the 3rd month, I had to go see my primary because I was dizzy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm killing myself eating all this fat and meat and pack of bacon a day and pork. So I went, I'm like, hey man, am I dying? Like, he goes, your blood pressure's so low.
Yeah.
You need more sodium and stop taking your blood pressure meds.
Isn't that crazy?
And I went home, I threw the blood pressure meds in the garbage, ate more sodium, and I was off of the antidepressants.
Yeah.
I got rid of all the brain fog and all that stuff, and I've never looked back.
I tell you,
It's
man,
been 6 years.
I don't even like cheating on the carnivore thing because I don't feel good if and even a slice of pizza, like occasional slice of pizza, maybe a little pasta with the kids like once every other month. And then I'm like, man, I almost don't want to eat too much of it because then I don't feel great anymore. I'm addicted to feeling really freaking good.
You finally realize what it's like to have your body functioning at a more optimal level, and then you realize the American carbohydrates, and I'll throw the American carbohydrates in there more.
Throw the U.S. right under the bus. We do it all the time.
It's completely
Harley.
poison and toxin to the human body.
100%.
And I think in this culture, eating processed carbohydrates is completely detrimental to your health and only helps the pharmaceutical and the medical industry.
Well, that's not an I think. That is what it is, right? I mean,
that's
you don't
all we
think
talk
that.
about.
We know that.
That's literally
plain
all
and
we
simple.
talk about. But the funny thing is that, you know, you went through and had significant medical training as a chiropractor. And the funny thing is that with all my doctor friends, we all laugh about it because I say it here on the show all the time. How many hours of nutrition did they have you do? And
He's got a zero up already.
Always the same. It's like, well, none. So you ask a nutritionalist how many hours they have on food, and what do you think that answer is? Now you're cheating because you took it.
120 hours.
That would be wonderful if they did. We're talking about food working as medicine. I can already tell you, just because he's a man of a certain age, like me, that means that all of his nutrition was built on the pyramid. And so, which was the 9 grains and all this other crap that they gave you. So the few hours that they did get, and I want to say it's 60 something hours total of actual food, but none of it is how it works as medicine.
Okay.
But even those hours came down to teaching the pyramid, which was actually reversed. Now that we know, it should have been reversed, but
it's interesting that you mentioned the food pyramid because I remembered this. You know how you remember weird things out of your childhood?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I distinctly remember taking that color-coded food pyramid home to my parents and saying to them, this doesn't make any sense to me. Nobody eats 11 pieces of bread a day that I have ever met in my life. And it was like,
have you
whatever,
seen some of the fat people
8
in America?
to 15, but like we
Yeah,
didn't,
you can't.
we didn't.
In the
now,
80s,
like,
people didn't. But in the 90s, they did begin to have
but
that.
that's
They
when
just-
I
they
would have
started
been.
pushing it, promoting
But
it
in
more
the
and more.
80s is when I would have been
Right.
handed the food pyramid in first or
But-
second grade or
But
whatever.
in the 80s,
So
even you could go to a fast food joint in the 80s. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't what you wanted to do every day.
No, but a burger was still real
It was
meat.
still meat, and that's what I
was
mean.
pure
So-
beef.
And the fries were actually just potatoes, cooked in bad stuff, but it was just potatoes. Now, all of that stuff is GMO manufactured. It's not even meat anymore.
It's not even food.
And it's not even food.
my big problem with fast food is you can't just give up fast food and then still eat the SAD, the standard
The
American
American
diet,
diet.
because you still get grocery store bread. You still got milk that's super processed. We have no idea what our cheese is. I saw a thing like the other day that Pfizer makes 90% of our cheese in America.
And it's sure it's all laden with stuff to kill
I'm
our
like-
hormones and hurt us and bring us down.
Well, the best thing
And
is,
I was like Harley. My first 120 days, he told me eat bison, elk, red meat, some turkey once in a while if you have to.
Yeah, you gotta have the fat.
And then he said, cook everything in butter. I remember
Real butter.
distinctly everything in butter, and then make sure that if you want to mix in a little bit of Greek yogurt here and there, and eat a ton of eggs.
Yeah.
That was what you told
Yeah,
me.
forget the
and
cholesterol myth
I
and have at
stuck
it.
4 months, 120 days. I did not cheat one time the entire time, and that was the first 20 pounds.
yeah.
And you probably felt better than you did in years.
Better than
Brain
I did
fog was
since-
gone, energy,
since
needed
high
less sleep.
school.
Yeah.
Better than since high school.
It's interesting what you were saying about nutrition, because I did my undergraduate studies in nutrition. And then I finished up at the University of Alabama.
He had more than 120 hours.
And then no, but he's right on what you're saying. Med schools, they don't learn it.
No.
It's just not their fault.
No.
They're not taught it. And then at chiropractic school, because we're looking at the body more of a holistic, natural standpoint, we have extensive nutritional training.
Right.
However, it was all based off of that food pyramid.
Based off of the food pyramid.
And I left there thinking I knew it, and I was doing nutritional counseling in my office, and now I switched it all. Every time I tell anybody now, it's carnivore or keto, one or the other.
Yeah.
Or
And that's largely dependent on your blood type, from my understanding now.
I'm learning. Right? Different people respond a little bit differently to different stuff.
And I know Vince, my twin brother over here, is O negative. You're O negative or O positive?
AB negative.
Oh, AB negative. Okay, I'm O negative.
I'm rare.
And the book, I think it's called Eating for Your Blood Type.
Eating for Your Blood Type.
The book says if you eat right for your blood, and it's O negative, responds the absolute best to red meat, carnivore style. So it's not.
You're right on the money.
It's not a secret to why I want steak all the time. My blood wants the steak.
Humans need it.
You need it. It has every I think it's only like one essential nutrient that's not in steak.
And you can't get any of it from vegetables and fruits.
And
you would have to eat a truckload of veggies to get the nutrients.
Literally. And that's funny because I even talking with my wife recently, she was like, I gotta add more spinach. I'm like, what are you looking for spinach for? My iron. I'm like, I just made you a whole steak.
Have a steak.
You just had all of the iron you could possibly handle for the week.
More iron than our body can absorb.
And so this is what it is. And so it's, even though we have learned it again, we see it, it's hard to unlearn what you've known for 40, 50 years. And I think that's the hardest thing that I've run into with people is reprogramming the mind after it's been sold this bag of goods all of our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And, two things, nutrition and religion. We're not going to get into that. It's hard to
We already did that on the last episode.
You didn't invite me to that one. Great.
So it's hard to reprogram things. And there was a psychologist that's explained it why. He said because 0 to 6 are the most informative years. So it wouldn't surprise me that you brought home the upside down pyramid in the 80s, because that was your formative years where they was bringing that in, where ours was 70s, late 60s, bringing that crap home and living by it. Mm-hmm. And as we got older, and we talked about bodybuilding before we came on the air, I mean, 6 meals was nothing to us. 6 to 8 meals. I used to wake up in the middle of the night. You too?
Oh. I had a meal set up and then got up in the middle of the night with the alarm and I slammed it down, went right back to bed.
Went right back to bed.
A full meal.
These were things that we were
for
doing
years. That's funny you say that.
Try to abide by these 16, 18 weeks of prep and all this.
Every 2.5 hours you got to eat.
You got to feed the body.
Yep.
Well, now we know that, we were doing that for a short-term purpose, but the real long-term problem is our pancreas never rested. The body never was able to repair itself. As we were breaking it down, lifting and doing everything we was doing, the only thing saved us is that we was young. Mm. But as you get older, your demands are less because you're not out there training 6 hours a day. You're not running marathons, all these other things like that. So that's what got me in trouble. Yeah. And it destroyed my thyroid because I was eating so frequently that the body never got a chance to heal itself. And the body was like, okay, we don't have to do anything because he's gonna give it to us. And so got to the point my TSH levels were 18.9 and normal was 2.3.
18?
They thought I had cancer.
Oh,
they thought
I was gonna say, like,
they thought I got called in to our doctors and they was like, hey, you
were really hook, line, and sinker on the sad diet.
I was bad. And here's the funny thing: my ankles were swollen like an old woman.
Pitting edema up to the knees, right?
The whole 9. And so I went in there and sat there and I said, you guys, I'm not leaving till we fix this. Something, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They ran that panel and it came back 18.9 and they put me on, started me low dose. It didn't touch me until I got almost to the maximum dose of the levothyroxine. And I was on that for 4 years. And along with 2 blood pressure pills too, because
they go hand.
They go hand in hand.
But you got to have, medicine. We got to.
Yeah, we got to.
This gives you side effects. We'll give you 3 more pills to counteract that one.
So I'm home feeling like crap, and nothing is working. And I just got fed up one day, and ironically, he mentioned Dr. Sean Baker, but he was just starting to creep into the world. But it was the juice guy. Y'all remember the juice guy? He was pretty famous some years ago. Anyway, so I was like, I did that. It was like it didn't work, but I kept my juicer because it was awesome. But I somehow
$800 later.
I went to the
so funny.
doctor, and I sat around the table. And you guys have heard this once. I sat around there in the office, and I was the youngest person in there by like 30 or 40 years. And I'm looking around the room. I'm like, okay, all of these people are being treated for type 2 diabetes. Well, I know how to fix type 2 diabetes. And so it clicked. I'm like, well, damn it, So I went back and started researching it. And sure enough, thyroid disease, for the most part, is basically overconsumption of sugars and starches and constant. And so what I did was I said, my birthday was December 28th. I said, I'm not taking the medicine no more after that. I quit it and I found keto.
Okay.
I went straight keto, 80-20.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 75, 20, and 5.
Okay.
If that adds up to 100.
So 75 was meat.
Fats.
Meat,
Oh,
fat. No,
fat. Okay.
keto's 75-80%
Okay.
fat.
I went
Got it,
fats.
got
so
it.
I was the bacon and butter guy.
Okay.
Going nuts. But I went back to my 4-month blood draw, and when I went back, they were like, "Wow, it's high." I said, "No, it's low," because I
It
went
was
from here.
here, yeah.
They had me down here on the medicine, but now it was right here. They was like, they wanted to increase my dose. I'm like, no, I haven't had it in 4 months. I said, I'm gonna come back here in the next 4 months, and I guarantee you I'll be normal, because in those first 4 months, I never felt better. No more pitting in my ankles. I could actually move again. I could run. The weight was just coming down. Next 4 months, went there in August, 2.4. I have not taken a blood pressure medication or thyroid pill since. And I've literally stayed completely away from that. Now, have I deviated? You know, I'm Mr. 85-15. I'm gonna have a good time 15% of the time.
You got to reward yourself once in a while.
But
You have
the
to.
overwhelming majority of my eating has been based on keto or carnivore since. And then I've even gotten into Dr. Jason Fung with the fasting. And once I started combining those two, my health numbers went down. The same clinic called me back at the end of the year because my numbers were so good. I had the voicemail for years. He was like, literally, "Hey man, what the hell are you doing?"
But he's not now teaching
and
that,
I-
right? Because
and
then
I
he can't
said-
prescribe all the
You can't.
crap.
Well, yeah.
But
MDs will never
my
teach this.
answer was, I'm eating bacon and eggs. And that was it. And he just stood there. And that's how we started doing it. And now, as he said, they're at our clinic, I don't want to say prescribing, but teaching, hey, look, you're having issues. Look at the keto or the carnivore way.
That's
And
great
to
that
eat
they're
it.
doing that.
When they
They're
first
trying to
told me I was going to kill myself when I did it.
They always say that.
They told me, you're going to kill yourself. Your cholesterol is going to... Yeah, now we can get into the cholesterol.
You need cholesterol
And they wonder
high.
why I'm skeptical of the medical community.
You should be
Present
scared to
company
death of
excluded,
it.
of course.
No,
you know,
look,
that's,
there's some good medical doctors
Of
out there, but
course,
their
of course.
purpose is to push medicine.
But then,
Yeah,
you know, the
but that's
thing
how they
that
get paid.
the thing that boggles
That's how
my
they get paid.
mind.
They don't get paid to keep you healthy.
No,
That's the
no.
holistic provider.
We're the podcast twins. I'm Drew. That's Vince. Gold and silver aren't just history; they're security. That's why we partner with Miles Franklin.
And if you just call 952-929-7006 or email them at info@milesfranklin.com, tell them that the podcast twin sent you. You'll get preferred pricing and you'll get very well taken care of by them.
Real talk, real value. Miles Franklin. The thing that blows me away about carnivore, and it's hard being carnivore sometimes, not like being vegan where you can't order anything in a restaurant unless it's a vegan restaurant, but it's hard being the oddball, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you're the
and
weird guy.
I become
Or a
the
burger with no bread.
and I'm
Right,
fine with
yeah.
that. I become the ultimate contrarian and I don't care anymore. But the thing that blew me away was people would tell me, "Man, Drew, you look amazing. Like, what are you doing?" And I would tell them, just like you told your doctor, "Well, I'm eating steak almost every day. I'm eating chicken and fish and, turkey and now I'm mixing a couple vegetables in here and there. And I like pineapple and my brother-in-law has a mango tree. So like 5% of my diet became fruit now, which isn't going to kill me, I hope.
No, and I think, look,
And it's natural.
healthy, natural fruit,
Yes.
seasonal, is a good thing to do. I was in Costa Rica,
Yeah,
once,
yeah.
and I ate pineapple like it was going out of style.
And it was
I
amazing.
lost
The
weight,
papaya.
felt great. The fruit, but it was fresh fruit. It wasn't
Right.
filled with the pesticides and
Yes.
picked early and stored in a storage room.
Yeah.
So anyway, these men and women, every single time, like, what are you doing? Well, I'm eating bacon, I'm eating eggs, I'm eating steak, I'm eating chicken, fish, blah, blah, blah. And, no bread, nothing out of a box or a bag. We talked about that.
Absolutely.
Nothing out of a box or a bag. and then they would look me dead in the eye. People that are 80 100, 120 pounds overweight on statins, on blood thinners,
Like
on
half
blood
the medical
pressure
doctors.
medicine. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, have you had your cholesterol checked? I'm like, are you not listening to me? I feel like I'm 30 again. I'm 44 now. My birthday was a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I feel like I'm 30 again, maybe even less.
Right.
And they're telling me, have you had your cholesterol checked? And I'm looking at them going, I don't, like my head exploded. Harley.
As it should.
Well,
But look, our culture is brainwashed by the pharmaceutical industry.
yes.
You know, they keep lowering the numbers of cholesterol to sell more drugs, which
got
gets you
lowered again.
sicker.
It got
They lowered it
again.
again?
Yes, 180 now.
180.
180.
Mine's about 350.
Does your
And
brain
I'm thrilled.
even work when it's 180?
No.
And that's why you get
It
dementia.
will not, which is type 3
Type 3
diabetes.
diabetes. That's
They
exactly.
just proved it, which is what they call it in the rest of the world.
This is what we've been screaming, ladies and gentlemen.
Type 3 diabetes, rest of the world.
When we were kids, so anybody that's Gen X, I want you to think about it. Did you have anybody in your family that you knew of that had dementia or Alzheimer's, like we're experiencing?
Yeah, and
My
you
mom
know,
just passed away from it.
And
sorry
now,
to hear that,
but what's happening is that
She was on the low carb.
she was on the low
Low-fat diet.
fat
Yep.
diets. And because those were our parents on the low fat diets, because that's what the TV and all of the doctors was telling you to do, you know, go buy Cheerios, they're heart healthy. Right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it
what
says
the
that on
commercial
there.
said. It says literally it's heart healthy. And I'm like, wow. I still have people right now that, hey man, how's this? I'm like, open it up, raise that lid and pour it in the trash can. But I just spent $6 on it. You wasted $6.
I tell you what, I think 50% of the reason I've been so disciplined is because I'm pissed off that I was lied to my whole life by TV commercials primarily, and then our parents, like my parents are baby boomers, they're both 71, and I forgive them, right? Because they were
They only
just
knew what they knew.
bamboozled, hoodwinked,
Like the rest of-
flim-flammed,
Yes.
and whatever else other things that you use to, like, they were just totally, like, wool pulled over their eye, and I still can't get them to listen to, and I'm like,
that's what
but
they've
look,
been knowing
like,
for all these
look
years.
at, my neighbor stopped me walking my dog the other day because I had my shirt off, and she's like, Drew, I want to do whatever you're doing. Tell me. And I sent her the episode 27 where I'm waxing poetic about this guy and
Yeah,
how
he did.
awesome he is. So
This guy's he's a podcast twin legend.
he's
don't even
a
know.
podcast triplet as far as I'm concerned.
I'm
man.
joining the family. This is great.
He just gave me the tools to change my life.
But you did the work.
And
And
you
that's
did
the
the
100%.
important
work.
thing.
You bought into what? But see, you had to be sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I told you
and-
why
and
I did
that's
it.
what it is.
I put the video up again
Yeah.
of me sitting in a chair in January talking about the 100-hole challenge, and I got this big, giant, fat gut sticking out.
Really?
And I looked at myself, and I'm like, "Who is that fat guy?"
Yeah.
And and then that was when we went to the gun range.
That was right around that time?
Right around that same week.
It's funny you mention like the older generation,
Yeah.
you know, with the type 2
Yeah.
diabetes. But my mom, you know, recently passed from Alzheimer's about a year ago.
Okay.
And she was on that low, you know, the low fat diet. But that's what they were teaching
That's what
everybody.
they were teaching you.
When that whole thing happened, and when my pops and I started talking, my dad's 86 now.
Okay.
And he eats bacon, he eats butter, he eats steak. He still has his fruits and some other stuff. He's 86. Go live your life
Right,
too.
right.
But he's incorporated a lot of quality fats, and he's rocking and rolling.
That's it, man.
So give us some of the quality fats that you recommend, because I think I need to eat more fat.
I think the number one thing is red meat.
Red
Good
meat.
quality red meat.
Done.
That's,
Sold.
Not the processed stuff you get in the
We're
store.
making ribeyes, man. That's,
Done. What we doing after this?
We're doing a steak off, me versus Vince.
We're gonna
Barbecue and a steak off here.
He's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
barbecue,
yeah.
and I'm doing cast iron
Yeah.
skillet, and
Ooh,
we're gonna
we're gonna
see-
do a compare?
We're gonna go
That's
at
gonna
it.
be an
all right.
episode
Yes.
coming soon.
Yes.
So don't get salivating.
Not
just
yet.
I'm
Not
gonna try
yet.
to be
It's
there
gonna
and
be
be
a
a
couple
taste judge.
Yeah, we need one more. I think we need 3 taste testers in case there's a two-man tie.
two-man tie, we
you know,
gotta-
like
we
we
gotta
need a
call the
third
difference
taste
on it.
tester.
It's
I'm
gonna be
Is your
amazing.
wife gonna be a tester for us?
We're gonna probably have more people than we expected.
Oh, okay, all
But
right. There's
either
gonna
way,
be all right.
It's gonna be a lot. But but I like the direction he's going in. So here's the thing, and since we're playing keto carnivore game,
Hell yeah.
the keto fat loves avocado. The carnivore says that's not real carnivore, and I'm like, well, okay, what's our goal? Our goal is to raise our fats. How many ingredients is in an avocado?
One, I hope.
Eat the avocado.
Eat the
I do.
avocado.
I have them once in a while. So like we talked about like you know,
Yeah.
I don't believe in the word cheating on my diet.
Right.
I think it's just a negative connotation.
Right.
I know you guys have another word. I call it rewarding myself. I think you guys use something else.
Refueling.
Refueling or
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
But I'll use when I deviate from carnivore and I want to reward myself, I'll go keto.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's fun.
And I can tell you, my girl cooks everything either keto. She makes carnivore pizzas.
Oh, I love it.
She makes everything either keto, carnivore. She makes all the desserts, everything. We had s'mores the other night when it was cold.
Yeah.
Keto s'mores.
Oh,
She made the graham crackers,
Yeah.
the chocolate, and the marshmallows, all from scratch, almost no carbs.
Dude, she needs a recipe
I
channel, man.
had 6 of them with still under 20 grams of carbs.
Why
for
doesn't
the
she?
day.
And she's a beautiful young
she's-
woman, and
and
she can
she's-
cook. She needs a recipe channel.
She also
We will market
she started
her.
the carnivore keto journey with after we started dating.
Right.
And she's been on about 5.5, 6 years now. She's down almost 60 pounds and keeping it off. Turned her life around, got back into the gym, and just doing great with it.
we
glad-
had
I'm
we
glad
had
you
get,
mentioned
we
that.
had guests on here, Thelma and
Louise?
and Carter. No, they're from Spectrum. They're from
All week, ladies and gentlemen.
tip your bartenders and your waitresses. No, but Thelma had lost 100 pounds, and her son Carter, who is now 15 or 16, I forget, 15.
15.
Her son had lost 40 pounds. And of course, he was getting taller too because
Yeah,
he's
but he
14.
looked
And
like a
but
whole
he's
different human being.
And they shared
That
their
episode's coming out next
same same stories.
And what's really interesting about the keto diet, because people go, oh, wow, it's got to be bad for you to eat 75, 80% of your calories from fat. Babies, breast milk, it's 80%. It's keto.
It is.
We are born, and our system is built to live off of fat. We just decided to start adding carbohydrates and kill ourselves earlier.
Well, because people started selling carbohydrates, and then they found out the profit margin on those were absolutely off the charts, and they love profit margins off the charts, and so the lobbyists started to go and say, hey, you know what? You know what's going to be a great breakfast food? Orange juice.
Go get me some tequila.
Let's spike that
I'm
sugar
not,
right
I'm,
away.
I'm
first thing
getting
in the morning.
mad. I'm getting mad now.
Let's do, and so, but marketing, and that's what Drew was mentioning a little bit ago about how commercials influenced us, because Saturday morning, back in the 70s and 80s,
The laugh and a half, hour and a half cartoon show.
you had
The golden
the
arches every
commercials
third commercial.
was either Lucky Charms or it's one of those high sugar breakfast cereals or fast food. That's all they show you during that, because they knew at that time kids was planted in front of the TV from 6 in the morning until like 1. And so it was nothing but that kind of crap. And what is the little kid gonna do? Mommy, can I have like, and so that's what happened. So we literally watched the generation get sick based off of how marketing.
It's funny you say that because I remember having the cereal as a kid,
Yeah.
and we had sugar on the table,
Oh,
and you would
yeah.
take tablespoons
Oh,
and
man.
add the sugar to your cereal. Remember that? And then at the bottom, you had the milk and just the sugar.
Oh,
That was like the best part.
That was the best part, man. I used to be a Chex guy. I could put that in Chex and go crazy and drink that milk, man. It was insane. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even drink milk if it didn't have sugar in it from cereal. I wasn't a milk drinker.
Yeah.
So
No, but at the end of the cereal, that was the
only,
best.
But then that was the only way I was a milk drinker.
Let me
that.
kind of change gears just a hair. I want to get better quality meat. Like I wanna not buy as much stuff at the grocery store because I don't know what they're doing with that processing wise, unless I buy the whole loin and then butcher it myself. So what do you recommend? Is like Broward meat and fish good? Is it you got to go to a farmer's market? You got to buy it online to get the right thing? Like
I bought
what
food
do I do?
I bought food from Broward Meat and Fish, and I go sometimes, but I don't believe that their quality is the high end. That aspect of it. I'll go to Doris's Market a bunch.
All right.
And I think the best thing I've done with my brother, and I don't know where he gets it, but he has a farm where he does it, and he buys a whole cow. And with a couple of buddies, we go
Vince,
in.
that's our next level.
Goes in, and you're getting it fresh. They're free range. They're roaming.
Yeah.
And then they quarter it up and butcher it all up for you, and we just do that.
Vince,
now,
I gotta go for us.
It tastes way different.
Oh no, 100%.
Beginning of 2026, we don't need a New Year's resolution for this. We're buying a quarter cow.
And you know what? Get some chickens and get real eggs.
Do not threaten me with a good time. So there are chickens where
my neighbor has quail.
Yeah.
And she eats quail eggs and shares.
I haven't
eggs.
had one, but I imagine they're amazing.
They taste like eggs.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
They taste like eggs.
Non-pasteurized, healthy stuff.
Yeah, they taste like
going
eggs.
to be better. That we know that. Now, but then, everybody can't afford that. So that's why one of my guys I like to follow is Dr. Ken Berry online. He talks about how to do carnivore cheap. His philosophy is very simple. I'd rather you go in there and get the cheapest hot dog, which is processed everything. He said, I'd rather you eat that than the best carbohydrate in the world.
Agreed.
Because at least you're not feeding the additional sugars or the converted sugars that you're getting from there. So he tells you, hey, get eggs, which are, well, now back to normal in price. Before you could sell them for diamonds. But now you can get eggs. He talks about basic ground beef, because usually the higher the fat, the cheaper the price.
Yeah, you can
So
get
you can
ground
get
chuck.
And he's like, look, if that's an easy way to start. Hot dogs, hamburgers, and eggs. He said, if you don't do nothing else but just have that, you're at least starting. And now that way everybody can find it. Everybody can't have a ribeye like me every day. They just can't do it, but
We're having ribeyes on Sunday.
amen. So
Hot dog's a great meal.
but it's a great meal because again, take the bread away. You at least you're getting full. You're getting some protein out of it. But I'd rather say you're not getting the garbage that comes with the bread that comes in the package that's been sitting on the shelf. They got transported in off a
That's
truck.
not bread. That's chemicals that looks like
correct.
bread.
Because why do we know this? Because it's got more than 1 or 2 ingredients.
Just read.
And usually
All you gotta do is read.
And
Read.
usually it has things on there that you cannot pronounce. And you guys know what I say about it. If you can't pronounce it,
Don't put it in your mouth.
don't put it in your
I
mouth.
like that.
So it's very simple, very easy.
Harley Bofshever approved. Let's go.
I approve this message.
I do want to volley this back over to Harley though, because I do like to. I get excited when we get on this subject, obviously, because obviously it's changed our lives, health wise.
For the better.
For the better, and even when you scream what you scream, you still got people that
They're skeptical.
I can't do it. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is to say, okay, I'm gonna go have burger, and I'll go to whatever restaurant we're going to together, and sometimes it's a nice place, and I'm like, but I want burger here. Yeah, I need 3 of them.
All right.
And they look at you, you got 3. Yeah.
But now I just tell them, bring the bread. That's fine, because my fun is to flip it, take it off, and just flip it and leave it there.
And then start the conversation
And then
going.
start the conversation.
That's a great conversation
Because
starter
that's how
for
you
the topic.
get people to say,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, you can bring that. You can bring the lettuce, the tomatoes. You can bring all of that stuff. I'll even keep all that. But I'm going to flip the bread. And usually it starts the conversation. And it's less awkward than saying, oh, don't send the bread. It's less awkward at the ordering part.
You just turn it over.
And you just take it, boom.
That's a great way to get the conversation
And-
rolling
and
on the carnivore keto life.
Somebody's going to ask you, why did you do it if they don't know? And then boom. And then to literally leave an empty plate with 2 pieces of bread sitting right there is absolutely hilarious. And then the waitress will come back and say, was there a problem with the bread? I'm like, no, not for me, but for us others, because I didn't have it. I mean, these are nice restaurants I do it at. And so
I would just say it's not homemade.
it's a weird situation, but but like you said, when I go astray, I prefer to, if I'm going to have a carb refueling day. So in the bodybuilding world, we used to have carb depleting and the carb refueling days, which were always our favorite because you went through about 10, 12 days of very little of anything, and then you get the chance to eat rice with no butter, and you thought that was the best thing in the whole wide world. But either way, when I do decide to do that, I'm like, so would I rather have French fries or bourbon? I'm choosing the bourbon. I'm choosing the bourbon because
Getting a nice cigar with that too.
it's a combination.
That's what I'm saying.
Does the Pope wear a funny hat?
So I say those things because it out of my 85-15 lifestyle, because again, I'm not going on stage anywhere. As long as my health numbers are in line, I'm going to have certain pleasures in life. But now I'm just going to pick my poison. I'm not going to choose the fries and the bourbon because now I'm double whammying. I know I'm getting sugar out of this, whether it be sugar alcohols. I don't care if you take the best tequila in the world, you're still getting some sugar alcohols out of it. So if you're going to have a sip, don't combine. It's like golf, right? We say don't combine bad shots. You make a bad shot, put it out your head, go hit a good shot. Well, in this world, you don't combine two starches. And all intents and purposes, if you're going to have a sip, you're having starches that day.
All right.
Just don't combine it and make it
Definitely
worse
will
for
always
yourself.
spike your insulin levels.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're going to spike it. So, but if you really want to do some interesting blood work, after you have your steak and your bourbon, your blood sugar doesn't go crazy.
No, well, the nice thing also is with the fats in the steak.
Come on, Doc, talk to him.
The fats in the steak help keep your sugar level stabilized because it reduces the amount of absorption time, so it doesn't peak really high, and which is why you need all the fat in your diet. It's one of the other reasons.
Let's close it up on this, Harley. Tell our viewers and us, what advice do you have for somebody that's going to jump into the carnivore and try it? Like,
why?
what do you tell them? Because I have struggled. I had my buddy Chris was on it for a month. He was feeling amazing. He was getting good results. His pants were fitting better. He had to lose
He just felt he couldn't do it anymore, right?
But then he kind of he was like, oh, I'm going to do it for a month. He did it for a month, and then he went back.
Socially.
So what would you say to someone that's going to start this tomorrow?
So that's a great question because I've had a lot of patients that I've talked to and a lot of people about it. And that's always the thing. I don't think I could do it forever. And I tell them, start for a week or two, get it going. And then once they start feeling good, I just keep encouraging. With your friend, somebody that's after a month going, oh, I just can't keep this going. Why? Okay. Why? You came to me, told me you had all these health problems. Mm-hmm. You were feeling great after 3, 4, 5 weeks on it. You changed your lifestyle. Now you want to go back to feeling like crap? Yeah. You want to go back to the medical doctors? You want to kill yourself? And if that's what they choose to do, I can't waste my time with them. And it kind of goes back as a chiropractor, fighting with the people. Like, you should go to a chiropractor. You get, I don't need this every time, So I've learned, I give my information. I tell them what I think is their best interest. And in the end, it's up to them to live their life.
Okay. Well, the other thing I told, and there was a couple people, a friend Heather, she was kind of having struggles. She didn't love it at first, and she was getting all the withdrawal symptoms and not eating rice and all the poisons and addictive. And I told her, I was like, look, and I said to her, I go, look, you're addicted to a bunch of chemicals. It's not your fault. Just keep eating steak and trust me. So was there anything better I could have told her?
She was addicted to legal drugs.
Whatever.
Well, no, don't whatever that. Because think about that. If you were going and you ordered a steak, you ordered a burger, and I said, nah, let me get a fentanyl sandwich, you would look at me like I was crazy. Because it's an illegal drug. You guys would look like, oh my God, this guy's a raging drug addict.
Just because they're legal don't make them a good idea.
But hold tight. So, right. The difference is again, one is socially acceptable, one isn't. It's where we are in this world. So that's why it's easier for people to fall back into that, because again, you'll see people that are massively obese that will drag you for being a drug addict. But yet my massive obesity should say that I'm a drug addict too. I'm just a drug of sugar, which is more socially acceptable. But if we both decided to quit those drugs, we're both going to suffer the same withdrawals, which is what your friend is going through. In the keto world, they call it the keto flu. You might get a little sick.
You get sick for a little while.
During that time period. If you're having that, make sure you uptake your salt intake. It'll get rid of keto flu almost instantly. So, but again, it's the why. And I'll give you this real quick. If, like I've told the story about my aunt who had the stroke, and the doctor told her, Miss Richardson, if you have another cigarette, it could kill you right now. That's how bad her stroke was. She wanted to see her grandbaby graduate. Baby was born. Mm-hmm. She saw this baby turn 20 years old before she passed, because she had a strong why. So, and I was telling my daughter this, as you know, who just had thyroid surgery and all kinds of stuff going on. And she's now doing carnivore, and the body's responding amazingly. And I'm like, don't let the social stuff get to you, because you got to look at this as saying is that if I eat that garbage, it can kill me today. And if you really want to get that extreme in your brain, at least until it becomes a part of your life, because we don't use the word diet, we call it a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because has to be something that you just adapt to over time and just get so used to it. The guys at my station, they know, he ain't eating the bread. Don't include him in on the servings of rice. You know, they try to get me with them damn tater tots, and I gotta tell you, they like crack. It's crack. I swear
We ate them at Tin Cup.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did. We ate them at Tin
It's
Cup.
things like that, but you know, for the most part, they know I'm pretty good about just having my meat and being happy.
Meat with a side of
meat all day
booyah.
long. And so
Meat and butter.
We're gonna let Doc close this out, but I really want him to focus on to help people, because we know that if they're watching the show,
They're gonna listen.
They got questions, and they're on the verge of starting. You know, give them week 1 of starting.
Okay.
Simple. Week 1, start with steak, eggs, butter, and some hard cheese, and some Greek yogurt.
And some Greek yogurt.
And don't count your calories.
Right.
Don't worry about calorie counting, especially in the beginning. If you feel the need, like, hey, if you're used to eating 6-7 times a day, continue doing that. What'll happen is, as you eat more and more of the fat, your sugar levels, insulin levels are going to stabilize, and you won't have those cravings as much. And maybe what you were to allude to what you were saying, and you as well, with sugar being a drug. If you're a drug addict, there's AA, there's NA. Maybe we should have Sugar Anonymous. Maybe we should have somewhere a support group of people come together and help encourage, hey, you can do another week of this. You got another day, my friend. You're doing great. Look at your blood values.
It's a big
But I do
deal,
think,
man.
I do think right now there's a trend starting in the country of getting away from the vegan lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, want to do total politics here, but with the Maha movement.
Don't care. Go ahead.
The Maha
Maha
movement.
it up. I don't care.
Go.
And now, did you see the new Harvard study that just came out on the carnivore diet?
What
No.
happened?
New Harvard study came out on the carnivore diet that's dead. 6 months on the carnivore diet eradicated almost 90% of all diseases and illnesses, and they have multiple studies that have been.
Holy
So now, you know, Google's going to have the other side of it, you know what I mean? But there's a great study that just came out by Harvard, and it really, I think, is going to start opening up the door more and more where people are going to be able to look at this and go, you know what, maybe there is something to
the
it.
needle went so far, slammed, to making America fat.
Well, yeah, they pushed that whole vegan lifestyle, which was to promote the pharmaceutical industry.
Yes, 100%.
Let's. How are we going to sell more drugs? Let's get
So
them sick.
I'm gonna end this.
We'll
thing.
kill 'em here.
Get pissed off that you've been bamboozled your whole life, and try it for a week, and then call us later and thank us.
Yeah.
Oh, what you got?
That's the study.
The study. He already brought up the study. All right.
And I'm gonna dig into this, and we'll speak on it at another time. I know we got to close out here. Ooh.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Vince. Go, Vince. Come on.
Because
Don't hold back.
It's
We'll bring
actually
Harley back again,
It's
don't
actually
worry.
mentioning the carnivore and intermittent fasting. Same thing
Yeah.
we've been discussing.
They proved it.
And but I just want to tap on.
I
one thing.
proved it. I don't need Harvard.
You're gonna have. Make sure that your butter is not I can't believe it's not butter, because it ain't. Make sure it's real butter. Man, don't be afraid of the real butter. Again, if it got more than 1 or 2 ingredients, it ain't real. So, and if it's on the shelf and it can last on the shelf, leave it on the shelf. Let them get rid of it. You don't need to take it. Lastly, kids. Ooh. How early do you think they should start that kind of lifestyle?
Day 1.
Birth.
From the time they're born.
Why would I want to start them on poison?
Oh my God.
Now, I do believe children should maybe be more keto than carnivore and have a variety and eat those ketogenic vegetables and fruits and things of that nature.
Okay.
But your diet has to be based around meat and fat and real food. Whole
One
foods.
ingredient.
Yeah, one ingredient food.
One ingredient.
So why make them a drug addict only to try to break them from it later on? And it pisses me off because I'm so conflicted. I take my grandbabies to swim lessons, and right at the counter of swim lessons,
candy.
What's the reward?
Lollipop.
You can get a
Snickers
lollipop.
bar.
You can get Think about the dentist that's been giving you lollipops all of your life for your cavities because you've been eating but they give. Who's making the money? Follow the money.
Agreed. Follow the money. Give those kids some bacon.
Close it up.
Oh, dude, wait until we bring Harley back and talk about shots next.
Ooh. So he's
Wait
coming
until
back.
we bring him back
He's
and
on?
talk about shots next.
Okay.
Next
so-
time we have Harley, we're gonna fight with him about shots because I have to take the opposing view because I have to at least test you and learn as much as I can. So when we bring Dr. Harley back, we're talking vaccines.
I want to thank this man for coming. I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
Got the meat sweat.
Dude, I need to go get tequila for the next time.
I'm cranked up right now. But please make sure you guys go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And like I said, we're now on TikTok. Find us on TikTok under Podcast Twins. All of the socials. Please, please, please. Not only you subscribe, send it to somebody else. All right, help us grow.
Somebody that'll start the carnivore and it'll change their damn life.
And we'll just keep bringing you more fun subjects like we do already, man. You know we get it because we're identical and we can't stop. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to close up on that note. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me,
so
man.
much
Appreciate
fun,
you
man.
having me here.
And until next time.
Podcast Twins out.